Tonight on the Rundown, Selection Sunday has come and gone, and we know the fate of the men's basketball team and are patiently waiting for that of the women's. We'll tell you what's in store for the Tigers as they all take part in the madness. Plus, football is back, kind of. Spring practice kicked off yesterday, and head coach Ed Orgeron gave the media some insight into the key battles that could make a difference for LSU next season. We have a lot to get to tonight, so let's run it down. Hello and welcome to the Rundown. I'm Reggie Chatman. Now, March Madness is officially underway. The selection committee released its 68-team field for the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and we'll be releasing the women's bracket within the next hour. The LSU men's team was not selected to take part in the big dance, but the LSU women's team likely will be. The Lady Tigers are having their watch party at the Legends Club as they wait for their name to be called, and also sports reporter Dylan Alvarez is also in the building. Dylan, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Reggie, the atmosphere in here is exciting as the Lady Tigers await to hear their name announced for the national tournament selections this year. Now, while it's not official, the Lady Tigers are very likely to snag a spot in this year's big dance after ending the season ranked 24th in the nation, all the while boasting an impressive RPI of 28. Now, the Tigers ended this season 19-9 after falling to the Texas A&M Aggies in the SEC quarterfinals just over a week ago. ESPN's Charlie Cream has the Tigers as the 6th seed in the Kansas City region. Now, what that means for the Lady Tigers is a trip to Los Angeles, California, a selection they may not mind too much. Now, if selected, this would be the 25th national tournament appearance for the Tigers. Just last year, they lost to Baylor in the first round. Now, the results the selections will be released at 6 p.m., which is just under 30 minutes away. Until then, reporting live from the Legends Club in the PMAC, I'm Dylan Alvarez, Tiger TV Sports.
Thanks, Dylan. Now, as the Lady Tigers wait, we can talk more about what's in store for the men's team. Will Wade and co. were selected as the 3 seed for the National Invitational Tournament, which means they're going to be hosting their first-round game here in Baton Rouge, and their opponents, the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. It's the first game between the two since 2009. The fact that it's a postseason rivalry game does add some extra spice to the matchup, but also makes it a little bit more difficult to predict. History seems to be hedging its bets, as LSU holds a 36-10 lead in the all-time series, and the last UL win over the Tigers came in 1944. But LSU has never won an NIT game against an in-state opponent. It's only ever happened twice, as LSU lost to 83-72 to Tulane, and the year after that lost to UNO by the score of 99-94, so something obviously has to give. It's certainly not going to be an easy game for the Tigers. UL finished the season 26-7 and only missed out on the big dance due to an upset in the semifinals of the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, despite being the top seed. For LSU to have success, it'll have to be the Tremont Waters show with a sprinkling of some help from some veterans for the Tigers to overcome a Raging Cajuns team that is averaging 83.4 points per game, which is good for 15th best in the nation. As we previously mentioned, the last time ULL beat LSU in a basketball game was in 1944, so we decided that we should put this stat into some context so we can really get a grasp of how long this losing streak really is.
All right, here we go. In 1944, the fateful year when LSU lost to ULL, a game that happened so long ago that we couldn't find any pictures from that 1944 squad, would finish the year 10-15. 1945, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is sworn in for his 4th term as President of the United States. That's right, you heard me, his 4th term. That alone should tell you how long this streak is. Up next, 1959, the year Alaska and Hawaii officially became states, which means that this streak is older than 4% of the country. Do the math. In 1978, Dee Dee Bro was named LSU gymnastics coach. She is currently serving her 41st season as a coach of the team this year. And finally, in 1982, Will Wade was born. Now, this picture is not of Will Wade as a baby, but we imagine he looks something like this.
Now let's shift gears to football, as LSU started its spring practice yesterday to mark the beginning of the Ed Orgeron's 2nd season as head coach. And there are some glaring issues for the Tigers to deal with, especially on the offensive side of the ball. LSU is no stranger to losing talent in the LFL draft, but this season as team has left them particularly ravaged at the running back position. With Darius Geis and Darrell Williams now gone, the Tigers are left without a single tailback who has recorded a rushing touchdown in the purple and gold. Orgeron said that the lack of bona fide star at the position may force the Tigers to venture out of their comfort zone and focus more on the damage they can do through the air.
We're going to have a plan to do what they can do, but it's going to force us to throw the football. It's going to force us to be more creative on offense. Maybe give them the ball out the backfield. Guys can catch out the backfield. Until we find a feature back, the offense will not be featured, obviously, about our running back. We can throw the football, and I think we're about to do that a lot better.
But of course, the passing game is yet again the root of a lot of questions being asked of this Tiger team, as quarterbacks Miles Brennan, Lowell Narcisse, and Justin McMillan are all vying for the starting job. Orgeron hinted at the position battle between the three, the outcome of which could very well make or break the Tigers' season next year.
On quarterback, Miles took first team snaps. He looked really good. Justin McMillan made some big plays down the field, extended plays. Lowell Narcisse looked the best he's been. He ran the ball well, threw the ball well. It's going to be an exciting battle to see all three of those guys compete.
Luckily for whoever ends up getting the starting job, the Tigers have freaks at the receiver positions with guys like Stephon Sullivan, incoming freshman Terrace Marshall, and transfer Jonathan Giles as all options in the passing game. Defensively, the Tigers returned star linebacker Devin White. They added some important depth and size on the defensive line, and despite some of the lack of depth at the defensive back position, they seem to be in a good position to have another successful DVU-level season, barring an injury crisis. We'll follow all these stories as they develop over the spring. Still to come, we have an entire weekend of baseball to get to, and my story on LSU's new pitching phenom. Don't go anywhere. The rundown will be right back after this. LSU baseball had a weekend series against Hawaii over the weekend at the Box. After dropping the season opener 4-2, LSU's offense came back in games 2 and 3, scoring 5 and 15 runs respectively to take the series. Catcher Hunter Fiducia led the way, going 2 for 2 at the plate with 2 doubles and 4 RBI as LSU moves to 11 and 6 on the season after last night's win. Freshman right-hander Mikhail Hilliard was on the mound Sunday, pitching 5.1 shutout innings in his first career start as he continues to put on for his community.
Mikhail Hilliard can't do any better than that. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts.
Freshman right-hander Mikhail Hilliard is starting to emerge as a star out of the bullpen for LSU baseball. In 6 appearances and 17.1 innings pitched, Hilliard is 5-0 with 14 strikeouts and has yet to allow a run at the collegiate level. His success comes from a variety of pitches, most notably his curve that spins over 3,000 RPM, a rate that is higher than most MLB pitchers.
Yeah, he spins the ball like a major leaguer spins a curveball, and because of that, it's hard to pick it up, and it dives at the very end.
It was just a touch and feel type of thing in high school, and I just kept working on it in high school, but I never really used it. So now, once I'm actually able to throw it for strikes and early in the count, it's a good pit away pitch.
Hilliard grew up around 30 minutes from LSU pitching for Central High School, who he led to the state title in 2017, Central's first title since 1996.
Man, I know it's nothing like winning a natty in college, but it's pretty awesome being with the high school friends that you've been with since middle school. And winning with them, it's a good experience.
Now pitching for his dream school, Hilliard still finds himself supported by the community he grew up in.
Man, I've never thought that people would look up to me like this, especially a lot of people from my hometown. But I've been getting a lot of support and love from all my friends and family, so it's been awesome.
I mean, we talk to him probably once a week. His mom, his dad, they still come out, support us in our games. So it's a big family, you know, and that's one thing I can say about Central High School is we stay together.
Wish I could go back to the old days, but I'm here now, so I'm making strides.
As the season progresses and SEC play approaches, Maneri expects for Hilliard's role to expand as someone he can rely on in big spots down the stretch.
Both his former and current coach talked about how Hilliard has a quiet confidence about him. That confidence is something that keeps him level-headed and could get him into the starting rotation if he continues to be effective when his number is called, especially with SEC play on the horizon. Welcome back to the Rundown. Now, earlier in the show, of course, we talked about the men's basketball team making and playing in the NIT, and although some were disappointed the team didn't make the NCAA tournament, let's remember that a year ago, LSU went 10-21 and 2-16 in the SEC. Johnny Jones was then fired, and their best player, Antonio Blakeney, went pro. A year later, LSU finished the season 17-14 in Will Wade's first year at the helm and are hosting the first-round matchup against ULL on Wednesday. Oh, and next year, Wade is bringing in the 4th-ranked recruiting class in the nation, including a couple of guys that are in the news this week, including 4-star recruit Javonte Smart, who brought home his 3rd Louisiana Division I state title in 4 years after scoring 22 in his final game for Scotlandville High on Saturday. Over in New Jersey, 5-star recruit and 18th-ranked player in the class, Naz Reid, took home some hardware of his own in the state title, sealing the win on this alley-oop with 10 seconds left to play. Oh, and down in Florida, 5-star recruit and 28th-ranked player in the class, Emmett Williams, got one of his own as well. Now, those three 4-star recruits, Darius Days, will also come in next year and play alongside first-team all-freshman guard Tremont Waters. So look out, NCAA. LSU basketball is a better-ranked recruiting class than the football team, so it may be officially time to call us a basketball school. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode of The Rundown. Make sure you keep us updated. Keep yourself updated with all of our content at lsunow.com and our social media at ttv_sports. And you can follow me on Twitter as well at Reggie Chatman. Producer Zoyce and myself are both dropping our March Madness brackets tonight, so go ahead and check it out. We'll see you next week.